Good morning, everyone. Well, today we're going to do a large face, and how fitting that is on New Year's Eve. I'm going to pretend that I'm going to a great big fancy party, maybe a dinner dance, as I used to do in my younger days. So today would be definitely an occasion for a large face. Now, a large face is more than a small or a medium face. And the reason we have these qualifications is because when my children were asking where we were going and when we were leaving, I would tell them I was putting on either a small, medium, or large face, and they would have an idea how long they would have to wait, because obviously a large face takes a long time. So I am going to I'm using a lot of products, of course, because that's what you do for a large face. I'm just going to bring out the big guns, and I'm going to try and move along pretty quickly. I don't want this video to be too long. I appreciate so much that you take time from your day to spend time with me with these videos. So let's get started. So I've already done my skincare and I have my sunscreen on. Remember, cleanse, moisturize, treat, and sunscreen. So I've got that done and the sunscreen has sunk in quite nicely. So I'm going to begin with my eyes because I always do that. Some people begin with their foundation, but I begin with my eye makeup. And I'm going to start by using Makeup by Mario. This is a eye set and prep and set kit. And this is a lovely product. It's quite expensive, but it would last a long time. So you can see there are 2 shades of eyeshadow primer and a very pale powder that you can use on your lids if you wish. I do use it sometimes. So I'm going to use the light shade today. Just put it a little bit on my finger and put it on my eyelids. I'm going to do one eye at a time, again, to save time. So we'll start with putting this on. Yeah, it's been quite a year, hasn't it? 2021, wow. A lot of people think it's kind of the worst year ever and it's a crappy year. But I was looking through my trusty kitchen wall calendar and I realized that quite a few good things happened for me personally in 2021. So I'll get into that in a moment. I'm going to use my tissue to make sure that I don't have any stray product out here. Okay, now I'm excited to show you this next eyeshadow trick. I learned this from Margaret on 60andMe. She has her YouTube channel is 60andMe. I encourage you. I'll put the link down below. Anyways, this is really exciting. So what I start with is I'm going to put some matte eyeshadow under my brow. And I'm going to use my Milani palette because it happens to have a nice light shade in there. So I'm going to do that. And I need my mirror for that. Okay, and so now this is going to look a bit messy at the beginning, but oh no, before I start that, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow in my crease. Now, because I have hooded eyes, I have to kind of create a crease. So I only do this when I take the time to do a large face, because it does take a bit of time. So I'm going to use this little wee brush, and I'm also going to be using my Naked Reloaded Urban Decay palette. It's a very nice neutral palette. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to use this shade here. Oh dear, I find this one here. I'm just going to dab a little bit on the end of that brush. And take my mirror and very, very carefully press it in just under my brow bone. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a brush and blend it in. These eyeshadows from Urban Decay are very pigmented, so you really don't need very much on your brush. Okay, so that'll do for now. And now the exciting part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put shadow on in 3 sections. And it's going to look kind of gross at first, but you'll see how it works. And what I'm using is these little spongy things that you often get in eyeshadows, little eyeshadow palettes. So I've saved a bunch of these. So I'm going to start with a dark color. And what I do is I just go to the outer edge of my eye and I pull it down. And I'm going to cover about 1/3 of my eyelid. Like that. Now, maybe put a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to take a bit of a color here, and I'm choosing this peach shade. And I'm going to bring that down in the middle. And then I'm going to use a light color in the corner. Now that looks like a big mess right now, but the magic of blending. So I use my IT Cosmetics blending brush. This is really a lovely brush. And I sort of go from the inner to the outer, and I just blend it in. Blend it in, blend, blend, blend. Smoosh it all together. And then I sort of go from the outer to the inner as well. And then I have a bigger brush that I use to blend it even more. I use this one here. And this one actually has, it's a double-ended one. It's nice too. So, yeah, so for 2021, I have a group of friends. There's about 10 of us, and for about 5 years we've been meeting once a week, once every 2 weeks, to make music together. And some of them have guitars or keyboards or various instruments, and some of us, including myself, just sing. I don't play an instrument at all. So we were meeting at a certain pub, and most of us being retired, we could do this during the day and during the week. So we were meeting at a certain pub. Well, of course, with COVID, with the pubs closing down, there. Now, how does that look? Might need a little more blending in the corner. So let's see what I can do here. So anyway, what we ended up doing, and of course, you know, during the winter, with the pubs all closed down, well, we were kind of out of luck, and we just couldn't meet for a few months, and that was a bit sad. But when the weather turned nice, we decided to find ourselves an outdoor venue. So we tried several outdoor places, parks and such. Some were better than others. We did find a very nice one that we ended up meeting quite regularly. But what it shows you is how very adaptable we are. Human beings are remarkably resilient. And we made it happen. We made it happen that we could get together still and social distance, sit 6 feet apart, sit in a circle outside on a nice sunny day, enjoy the fresh air, and enjoy each other's company. So that was a good thing that happened in 2021. and will probably continue to happen in 2022. We don't know yet. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for now, and we're going to go on to eyeliner. What I do with these large faces, I use products that I know are going to work. This isn't the time really to experiment. So I'm going to do some tight lining here. This pencil is called Le Liner by L'Oreal, and it's a very nice one. So that was a good thing in 2021. Yeah, I'm going to try and, well, I'm not going to try, I'm going to line my upper lid, which I don't usually do because there's a lot of creasing there. And it's, I have to concentrate and take some time. But I'm going to do it because this is a large face. This liner is called Black Magic. I think I might have got this in an Ipsy bag. And it has a nice, it's a liquid liner, and it has a very nice sharp tip. So I have to be very careful. I don't want a thick line because I don't want it to go up into my eyelid when I blink. So far so good. So yeah, it's all about how you want to use your time, you know? I wouldn't take the time to do this very much when I was young and working and bringing up children, and a lot of that time was as a single parent. So, of course, I was very busy, and I did not spend a whole lot of time on a daily basis putting on makeup because it wasn't a value to me at the time. But now that I'm retired, I do have time, and this is one of the benefits of having extra time. You can use it the way you want for a change. So I'm pretty happy with that line. That's pretty good. What do you think? Now I'm going to do the under eye, and again, I use my gray pen. This is a L'Oreal Infallible, and this is a gray color, and I use this under. And I just barely touch it because I don't want a heavy line under there. I just want a bit of shading. So it's all about values, right? And it's the same with how you want to spend your money. I mean, I have a few high-end products, but most of my products really are drugstore because I find that they are really just as good. I think that's all I want to put on there for now. Okay, moving along. Okay, I put on my other eye. And by the way, I'm all proud of myself because I'm using the ring light for the first time. This was given to me as a Christmas gift, and this is the first time I've used it. There's so many settings on it. I don't know if this is the correct one or the right one. It's supposed to be daylight. There is daylight coming in my window here. But anyway, there's just so much I have to learn about this YouTube technology. I mean, editing and all that stuff I don't know much about. Nothing, in fact. But anyway, we're just having fun here, so there you go. So the next thing to do is to put on my primer. And for this one, I've chosen Wet n Wild Dewy Luminous Primer, because this is the occasion to be a little bit luminous. So I'm going to just put that. Don't need very much. I'm just going to use that much. I'm just going to put it all around my face. So another good thing that happened in my life in 2021 is that a few of us in this apartment complex, which is a fairly small group of people, so, and I've been here a long time, and so have many of the other residents, so we kind of all know each other. Anyway, 4 of us decided to get together every second Friday night and have a games night. Well, that's been so much fun. We've been playing Trivial Pursuit. Pictionary, I had never played. Well, I never laughed so hard in my life. That was so much fun. What else did we play? We played hearts. We played some cards. We played a game called Bass Ackwards, which was a lot of fun. So, as well as learning new games, we got together and we were able to socialize a little bit. We were all vaccinated, all four of us, and we just gathered at my house and sat around the dining room table and had that little entertainment for ourselves. Now, this goes on a little bit sticky, so I'll be putting on my concealer so that I can let this dry down a little bit. I'm going to get my handy dandy sponge for my concealer. And this one I'm using is by IT Cosmetics, Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. And this is a nice one. And again, I don't know about concealer. I don't know if it does too much, but it can't hurt, I suppose. And I'm going to put it on this way. Last December 22nd, a very dear friend of mine passed away. And I went to high school with her, and we've kept in touch. We kept in touch all these years. Some years more or less than others. We were both brought up families. Anyways, so because of COVID, there was no memorial service in 2020. But again, with things starting to look a bit better, by 2021, there was a memorial service for my dear friend, and her family asked me to sing, which was such an honor and a privilege. Now, I've done quite a bit of singing with my son, who's a musician in town and fairly well known. He has a lot of gigs when places are open. And he and I have sung at retirement homes and at various private parties in the past. Okay, that's well sunk in. And now I'm going to use foundation. And what I'm using today is Revlon Color Stay. This one I know from experience requires very little product. So I'm just going to put a tiny drop on my palette. I'm going to start with that because you can always build up. So anyways, so Dave and I, my son Dave and I, we sang 3 songs during the memorial. He plays guitar and I sang. And of course, I knew her family all these years, including her siblings, and they were all there. So that was lovely. That was just lovely to be able to do that for her. And so that is another highlight of my year, 2021. Look how this spreads. It's just unbelievable. Don't really need, I think, I'm going to need just a touch more on this side. I'm going to use my sponge and my mirror. Now, this channel is just really, it's about lifestyle and makeup and getting older gracefully. I don't like the term aging. It just sounds like such a negative thing. I don't know why. It just affects me that way. But anyway, and I'm not an expert on any of these things, believe me. But I do have 75 years worth of experience. So that's why I'm doing this, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And again, when you're at home, well, you gotta have something to do, right? There's just so much Netflix, although I do enjoy Netflix very much. There's a lot of now look at that coverage. Now to me that's very nice. I'm going to use my foundation brush. This one is from IT Cosmetics, and look how nice and dense that is. It's beautiful. I love it. So I just go around just lightly and make sure that it's all blended in. The color is very good for me too, this particular color. They have lots of shades. So I'm going to put on a little bit of powder next. The powder I'm using is e.l.f. Halo Glow loose powder. This is beautiful. It has just a touch of luminosity. And after all, it's New Year's Eve, so it's time for luminosity, right? And I'm going to use a powder puff just because I can, and I like to use a powder puff. I'm with Wayne Goss there. So I'll just pat it very gently and then use my powder brush. You know, all my life I've been told that I have nice skin, which I really appreciate. It's lovely for people to say that to me. But I have to say that ever since I was young, I have taken care of it to a degree. I haven't done anything terribly fancy, but when I was about 12, 13 and reading my mother's magazines, which always had a beauty section in them, I would go right to that section. And of course they talked about eyeshadow and various color combinations and different shaped brows, but also skincare. And I learned that moisturizing your skin is a good thing. So really, when I started to wear makeup, which was simply a powder compact applied with a powder puff, that's all I wore for many, many years. But before I would put that on, I would put a moisturizer on. And in my 30s, I decided, well, maybe I should start wearing a night cream. So I started wearing a night cream. But I never used anything expensive. When people would ask me what I use on my skin, I would say, whatever's on sale. And that was the truth. And actually, I used a lot of Avon in those days, too. Okay. So now it's time for blush. And I don't usually care for blush that is shiny. I apply it only here, where the skin is still smooth. I don't want to go in there too much. You know, when they talk about the apples of the cheeks, not so much. No, I just try and stay right in that little area. And I usually stick with a matte. This is a lovely matte blush. This is by Catrice. This one. I won't take the time to put my glasses on and read everything. So I'm going to apply this. And again, I'm just going to do one side. And I go up the temple a little bit. I have to remember too that, you know, when I put my makeup on, people are not looking at it as closely as I am looking at it in the magnifying mirror. So it really doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of the overall effect that's most important. I'll check my mirror here. I don't want to have too much, and I don't want to color my hair. That's always the challenge. So I'm going to put that on for now. And then on top of that, I'm going to put IT Cosmetics Ombre Radiance. And the color is Je ne sais quoi. I've had many of these over the years. And it is a luminous blush. So I'm just going to put that over top. So I did my other side for the blush, and I also put on my eyebrows. So I used the e.l.f. wax stick and the e.l.f. Lift Brow Pencil. This is a lovely pencil. It's a nice soft, it's quite a large lead or crayon or whatever, but it has a nice texture, and this color is blonde, which is just perfect for me. So the next thing we're going to do is, the next thing we're going to do is put on mascara. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay Perversion, which is not too bad. It is a bit expensive. It's $33, which I don't love that fact, but it still works quite well, actually. It's a little bit wet, which makes the lashes stick together. So I have to use a little brush to separate the lashes while the product is still wet. And when I do that, it kind of works perfectly. So I'll do the other eye and I'll be back. And by the way, this would be the time to wear false eyelashes. I've tried wearing them a few times. To be honest, I just don't have the patience. I know that I could get better, and I think it's a skill that does take practice to master, and also to find the right kind of lashes for you. There's many kinds, but I've tried a few, and honestly, they're just not for me. I just frankly just can't be bothered. Anyway, the next thing we're going to do is put on a little bit of highlighter. And look at this. This is from Catrice. It's called Sungasm. Look at the size of that. I'll be taking that into the afterlife with me for sure. But this is a face and body highlighter. And, well, certainly I would encourage young women to use it on shoulders and the décolleté. I think it's just a lovely touch for a special occasion. I'm going to use this fan brush to apply a little bit, well, kind of all over, really. Why not, you know? I actually am going to meet with a few of my friends in the building, and we might play some games tonight. Or not, just sit around and chat. But I assure you that we will all be home by 10 o'clock. I don't know. I might watch and see what happens in Times Square around midnight. Anyway, so now it's time for lips. So a lip liner that I've discovered, which is very inexpensive, by LA Colors. This is a very nice lip liner. It's nice and soft, and they have this, I love this beautiful pink. So I'm going to line my lips with that. I won't take time to do that. And the lipstick I've chosen today is by Lise Wattier. Beautiful lipsticks, always. I've had a few of these. They are expensive, but they're creamy and they stay on. They're just lovely. Another option that I've recently discovered is, let's see now, what is this? Liquid Catsuit. I can't really read. And this is like a lip stain. So if you were going to an event where you won't have a chance to touch up your makeup, or you just want to be sure that you have color on your lips and that's going to stay, you would use a lip stain. And I've used a few of those. This works well. It's a nice one. So what I'm going to do is finish up with my lips. I'm going to get dressed, do my hair, and get ready to party. I'll see you in a minute. Well, I'm all ready to party. And of course, today is a Shalimar day. I love perfume, but Shalimar is my favorite in the whole world. I've been wearing this perfume practically all my life. And I don't only wear it on special occasions, but I wear it on every special occasion because every day is a special occasion. This video has gone way long. I really thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope that you have a way to celebrate the new year coming in. And bless you. I wish you all the health and happiness in the new year. And again, if you like this video, Please subscribe, leave a comment. I would really appreciate your comments or suggestions. And I will see you next time. Happy New Year.